Now that I have my first panel completely applied, I'm going to start the second piece. The first thing I need to do is get rid of my marks that are already on here, and I also want to take any excess glue that was pushed out for me installing away as well. You'll get squeegee marks and other things that will be left behind. So take your rag soaked with isopropyl alcohol, clean your edge really well, get your grease pencil marks off there, and make sure you have a nice clean edge. You shouldn't feel any residue left behind. Then you want to take your primer 94 again and go ahead and put a second coat on here. Since it's been over an hour since we applied this the first time, you want to make sure you apply a second coat. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the groove. I'm not going to touch the vinyl yet. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in this groove here with primer. And I want to especially make sure I get some primer down in these grooves right here, because these are really deep. Now, vinyl will stick to vinyl very well. Before wrap material came out, that was the only way that you could get multiple colors in an image. You had to lay vinyl on top of vinyl. Now, when you do a wrap, the pieces are only going to be about 52 inches wide, and so you're still going to have to lay vinyl on top of vinyl where the overlaps are. And since we still have an issue of lifting in the grooves, I want to make sure that I don't have any lifting right where the vinyl is overlapping. You can go ahead and add a little bit of primer on top of the laminate to these edges here. Now remember, we're going to use 1/2 inch overlaps, so you don't need to put an excessive amount. Probably just the width of your swab. Just put a little dab right there, and that should be plenty. I also want to make sure I hit my edges again. And inside my body line, here at the wheel well. And I also want to add a little bit extra right here in this groove as well. Now any excess primer that you might get on the laminate, you can come back later and clean it off with isopropyl alcohol. I went ahead and got my second panel that I'm going to be applying on here. And since we're going to use 1/2 inch overlaps, I'm going to go ahead and make some marks at about 1/2 inch on a couple places. Just to give me a light guide for when I'm applying the vinyl. Gives me a reference point as to where I can line this up at. Now I may not hit exactly on the 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to go ahead and line this up. First you want to focus on these points where the color is the most obvious and try to line those points up first. Now as you can see, like I was saying before, how when you peel the backing off the vinyl, that when you tug the vinyl tight, you are stretching it out just a little bit. So it may be hard to get a perfect match right off the beginning. So what you want to do is make sure you hit your main points, starting at the top and in the middle area. Try to line that up as best as you can, at least keep it as straight as possible. Because when you peel the backing down, you're also going to be stretching this piece out as well. So the bottom pieces, you don't need to make sure they're lined up as well right off the beginning. We'll make sure they line up before we start installing it. But now I have this where I believe I want it. I want to come over here where my logo is. I want to make sure that I'm still straight. Yes, I'm still at exactly 9 5/8 from where I started, which means that I was able to keep the first panel straight when I applied it. So now lining this panel up and the rest of them should be very easy. Everything should fall directly in place because we put so much time and effort making sure that our first piece was on properly. So now that I have this right where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and make some marks and start the whole process again.